Howdy, ELL peers. This is Keith and
Allison.
we are two of your co-directors for the Early Language and Literacy Project, ELLP, that you'll be starting next week. And we also have our third member of our group, our trio, is Lisa King, and she's also recording some videos for you as well to get us started. So we just want to take the time just to kind of get you ready for this adventure that we're all going to be on together starting next week. One of the things that we want to just mention and just share is that we are super excited. This is a program and an initiative that has been in the development for, well, I guess this will be our 6th year of doing the iteration of ELLP. And it all began following one of the models of our CCLD, the Kentucky Reading Project, which is a K-5 initiative. And it's a year-long project where teachers come together and work on specific things that they would like to see and have support with in their classrooms. So this was an iteration that we developed to work with early childhood educators from birth to 5, looking for to help support that early language and emergent literacy skill development. Kind of the overview of the project is that we will start this summer with the Summer Institute, which the dates begin next week with June 20th through the 23rd. And then we'll have another day in the summer that we'll talk about in just a moment, as well as continuing throughout the year with some follow-up dates and supports for you as we work together. The project itself is that we're going to be during the Summer Institutes is really more intensive, that we're kind of getting the basis of what the ELLP project is all about and learning about the different content areas, looking at different developmental strategies, supports that are going to be able to translate into your instructional practices as you work with these the youngest of our learners, as well as their families that they're with. The cadre constituency this year is a little different. We are going to actually have 2 different mix-ups of strands. So we have our brand new cadre members who this will be their first time coming through ELLP, and we welcome you and are really excited about you coming with us. We're also super excited about those who are ELLP alumni who've participated at least 1 year in one of the Striving Readers grants. And so they are coming back and will also be working with you because there'll be individuals from your schools and districts that will be working together in somewhat of a coaching model, but also getting some deeper learning as you all will be able to do the new ones in the next couple of years as well. The delivery format is going to be hybrid. For our Summer Institute, the very first day is Monday, June 20th, and it will be self-directed, kind of on your own with some virtual pieces to it. You're actually getting the information today on Wednesday to kind of prep for that. You'll have from Wednesday until Monday to review the materials, some of the assignments, the things that are in there, get ready to participate, throughout the rest of the year. Then we'll come together and meet in Lexington at the Kentucky Educational Development Cooperative Training Center, which the information is in your emails that you've received. And in that, we will be in person. The first 2 days, June 21st and 22nd, will be for only new members. They're the only ones that will be required to be a part of it. And that's basically because our alum have already had a lot of the material that will be shared those 2 days. On the third day, Thursday, June 23rd, then all of this will be together and in person, and then have a day of learning as well. Allison's going to be sharing a little bit more detail about the schedule here in just a moment. And then we will have some things throughout the year that some of it will be in person and follow up as well. Those things you have information and notice well in advance of which type of learning they will be in which formats, and then be able to plan accordingly on your calendars. And then the culminating piece that you're really going to be working toward a learning action plan. And that sounds like something that's ominous, and it's not, as your alumni can share with you that it is something that we will step through, guide through, and walk through with you all of the way from the beginning to the end. We will share more details about it when we get together next week, but there will be just bits and pieces of information that will come at a time so as not to be so overwhelming. The basic premise is that you're going to be looking at, and part of the needs assessment stuff that the survey that we put in the link for you to look at will give us some information too, but it's really taking the first couple of days of the Summer Institute to really hone in on what you might want some support with. One of the special things about our initiative is that it's tailored for your individual learning, whatever it is that you need. It's a time in your career as an educator that you have the autonomy to choose what it is that you would like to work on. A lot of that will fit in with your school's literacy plans that they've submitted for the grants that you're working under, but you will still be able to tailor what is it specific you're looking at. Is it vocabulary? Is it the oral language? Is it looking at fluency, phonics, phonemic awareness, any of those components, specifically on any of those that we can be able to kind of then tailor the instruction specifically for each of you. You'll be working on this plan throughout the year, and then there will be an event at the end of it that you'll be sharing that with others across the state. Just a couple little logistics that might be helpful as you're planning for next week that we did put in on the email that went out last week. There's a lodging link. So if you do require lodging for those first few days, there's a link there for you to go ahead and make your rooms. They're actually at a location, the Doubletree Suites, which is next door to our CCLD offices. It's about maybe 4 miles, maybe 5 from the training center. It's in the midst of a lot of restaurants where you can get to easily and really enjoy some good dining in the evening. You're not too far from Hamburg. If you get that shopping bug and you want to get out and go kind of let your hair down, movie theater, lots of different things. So while you're here, that if in the evenings that you want to get out, that it's really centrally located where you can get to many places and be able to enjoy. The other thing is that we want to let you know that we will provide lunch each day, so you won't have to worry about that. Breakfast everybody can have on their own, but on lunch we'll do lunches there at the training center together. So that it's really important that if you can today, which is Wednesday, by at the latest, to go ahead and fill out that little dietary survey that was in that email, just so we can make sure if there's any dietary restrictions that we need to be considering, we can go ahead and get our orders put in for next week's meals. So you can bring whatever soft drinks, soda, whatever you want to drink, you can bring it there. Probably non-alcoholic would be a good idea. So not until at the end of the day, but that if you can, the center where we're going to be training also has some beverages there too, that they allow us to partake of those as well as some snacks. So Allison, would you like to share about the scheduling?
All right. In advance, we're going to be sending you a syllabus, nicely printed up that tells all the rules and all the reasons we do what we do and dates and topics. There'll be copies available the day of as well. But if you just like to look through it and see what's on the agenda for the time. As Keith said, when we do the training, we're going to go through a lot of topics that you're familiar with, some you may not have thought as in depth about. And the purpose of that is so when you start to think about your LAP, what you want to think about for the year, something might tweak your interest or say, I really like to dig more into that. So we leave you at the end of the in-person time thinking about topics, and then we understand that many of you won't fully pick a topic until you meet your class. So that's understandable. And when you pick the topic, you will be assigned through Lisa, Keith, and myself, one of us to be like you can contact any of us, but to be your contact person, and the person who might hopefully this year be able to go to schools, which we weren't able to do. I'm so excited that we could be in person. So far, so good. And help you out throughout the year. So that's our role throughout the year. You also in the syllabus will see, which is really exciting, that after our Summer Institute, we have several more dates, sort of spread it out. The first one will be, we'll decide after we all meet you in July and July or August, whatever works for everybody. A session where we'll go extended more on children's lit, most specifically on the books that we will introduce to you next week that you get to look through. So that'll be a training we decide later. So far in the syllabus, you will see when you get it, the Kentucky Reading Association Conference is on September 8th through 10th. You'll be able to attend it. There'll be trainings there. There'll be the Early Childhood Standards Workshop at that conference, and lots of other things, of course, author studies and keynotes and work sessions, etc. There will be in October a session with Matt Glover. If you're not familiar with Matt Glover, you need to just be getting excited already, because he's been a big hit among all of us. We all are always excited. And you're going to get some of his books at the training. And then in November, there's going to be one on Think, Pair, Share and trauma-informed care, because we know a lot of us are going through working in the classrooms with kids experiencing trauma. We don't usually schedule much for December and January, although you're still teaching and all, we can still be mentoring, but we know how hard it is to have a meeting at those times, weather and everything else through the holidays. So then we have scheduled already Tandy McGregor in February. And then the next part of the orientation becomes preparing for Share Fair, which you will learn more about. Keith's already mentioned, but it's a culminating. You're going to present what you did in the training and what you learned. And we always set up, Keith and Lisa and I, a practice virtual session with you. So you run through it in front of us so that we get all the kinks out before you do it. And it's really exciting because so far we're planning on Share Fair in person.
Yeah.
But you will see in your schedule that we have recorded past Share Fairs, and there's going to be like next Monday, one of your assignments is to look at some of the previous presentations, because there was we're always so proud of our people at the end of the year when you think, oh, they're all nervous and stuff, and then they just do such a great job presenting. Yeah, really good. So we've picked a few for you to watch in preparation. So Keith, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just a couple of little last minute logistics. When you're coming, we want you to be prepared that you're going to be taking a lot of stuff back. Books are now beginning to arrive, but one of the big pieces of our initiative that's different from the others we have is that all of our new folks who will be coming in will be getting our Lakeshore manipulative kits. And they are 2 big boxes that you will be taking back. And when I say big boxes, they are really big boxes. We will be using those. They'll be introduced to you during next week, but you'll just want to plan on that if you're coming as a group, just to make sure you've got space to be able to haul those things back. And then you're going to be getting a plethora of books, lots of resources to be sharing. Our alum, you will also get materials on that Thursday when you're here that will be applicable to the trainings that we'll be doing with you throughout the year as well. Some of the way that the 2 tracks are set up, there are things that are specific to the new folks that are joining us, and also some that are specific to the alumni, more of a buffet style for the alumni, because we realize there's different hour requirements for the grant purposes. And so those new, you're going to get more hours than the alum, but there will be opportunities for the alum to be able to join us in any of the sessions that you have not been through yet, that you would like to be a part of, as well as some book studies that are going to be going on throughout the year. More intense book studies on some of these professional books, that resources that we have. Also for the new, if there's something that the new want to be involved in our alum book studies as well, that we're not going to limit that. We'll just have to maybe share books or get some other resources. With those hours, I know that's something that if you're not already familiar with it, that you'll be keeping a log with your school and district on the hours that you'll be logging with us specifically as your provider. And so we're going to help you with that. We'll make sure that we can kind of at the end of every session tell you, hey, that if you're keeping your log, even if you don't have the official log yet, that we'll do a running kind of a spreadsheet, but we'll also, if you have a notebook, that you can start keeping those in as well. At the end of the year, you'll be getting a certificate that is a culmination of all the hours that you participated in throughout the year that will serve as that final record. There are some districts and some schools that have been asking for, which we learned this past year, more certificates throughout the year. If that's something you need, then let us know, and then we will be working toward that. Also, those of you that are not necessarily a part of the school district, but maybe working as one of the community partners, we know that the ECE TRIS hours are really important to you. And so Allison and I are actually beginning that training, and we are going to get the certifications to be able to offer those hours. Unfortunately, they're not going to be available and ready until after our summer institute, because we still haven't completed all the training and getting everything ready. But throughout the rest of the year, we will be able to provide those certificate of hours that will be applicable for those that need those particular types of training expertise. And really our big thing is the expectations is that we all work together. We're committed to this. Your district has, at your district, and even if you're a community partner, they've invested their confidence in you to be a part of this project. And it is a lot of fun. We have a great time together. We do great learning. We also, and I forgot to mention this, but as far as this, the Imagination Library, as all districts are now coming, or all counties are now working to have Imagination Library, that's going to be a part of a training too. And we hope to have some really good surprises for you to share about that when we're together next week. Couple things that we just want to reiterate from the email that you got last week is that make sure, think about bringing one of your favorite children's books, because you'll be using that in a session with Allison as she is talking about some early writing as well as the children's lit. So be thinking about a favorite children's book to bring. If you're like Allison, she would bring 20. I would probably bring 5. I could at least narrow down to 5.
20. 20 would leave a lot of my friends at home.
Yeah, so be thinking about that and bring, if you want more than one, please bring more than one. We did put in there too, be sure that you bring a computer or some type of a device, because you will be accessing some school data with Lisa when she's doing some of the really deep data dig. And there will be things that we'll be sharing, resources that you want to get to right away as we're working together. We also, you're going to see lots and lots of good books and resources that you may not be getting to take home, but you may be very interested in. So we might tell you to go ahead and get your Amazon shopping cart list ready, because you're going to start writing them down. Lisa has a wonderful list that she puts together, and Allison has an incredible list that she's curated. I've got my own little set. So as we go through things and are sharing different resources that we may not have on hand for everybody during our Summer Institute, you'll find that there's some good resources in there that you may like, gosh, I'd really like to have that book, or this one really speaks to me. Let me try to get into this. We have found that there are some supports to the grant that you should be able to use that, and we'll be working with your district personnel to let them know that that has been shared before through the KYCL grant. We are not wanting to overburden you with a lot of information.
I do have one other thing. It's already, I think it's already in a memo that Keith sent out, email. If you can bring writing samples and drawing samples of children under the age of 6, I would appreciate it. We'll use them in an activity. If you have a whole lot, bring them, because somebody else may not have any, and we'll use them during the sessions. So if you could bring those with you, great.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we thank you for your time. We know that this is a lot of information, and we're getting ready to embark on this journey. We want you to feel very at ease. We are not a very formal group at all. I don't know, once you get together and see us, you'll realize that that is definitely true. But we want to be able to make this a rewarding experience for you, not only in the academic piece of it, but personally too, as you are enhancing your career and thinking about what you're doing with your children and your family connections for your own and for those children in the families you serve in your community. So we look forward to seeing you next week.
And one other thing.
She has lots of whatever things, like she does children's books.
But I wanted to add is, I think I'm so excited about being in person, because it made such a difference. I mean, we did great stuff. We really had to work hard to develop everything online, and it worked. But this is an opportunity for you to make collegial friends across the state. And a lot of people have learned, when they've opened up to sitting with somebody else or eating lunch with somebody else, or when they hear somebody speak, going over and ask them, people are sharing great ideas that they've done already in their school. And so take that opportunity now that we can see each other.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we look forward to seeing you. We hope that you have a great rest of the week. You'll see that this is embedded in the email that you're getting that has all of the instructions for what will take place on Monday. And if you have any questions as you work through those, the emails for Lisa, Allison, and I will be included. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be glad to help guide as best we can. And then we will then see you next week. So adios, folks. Talk to you soon.